Oh, we're recording. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to another FIA GT Sports stream with Iron Mike. Today we're at Sedegna in the Group X Red Bull X 2014 cars. Quite light little zippy cars. It's 25 laps. So this is Sedegna Road Track B. 25 laps. And the required tyres are soft, medium and hard. It's got a nice little small pit lane, so trying to get away with just using one tyre non-stopping is almost pointless. So I will be using all three compounds. I've done a number of practices in the last few days, but really wasn't 100% sure of how to approach this, but I finally decided, and hoping that the softs would hang in there, I decided I would do hards for lap 1, then do 4 laps on medium. So the first 5 laps will be hard medium, and then from lap 6 to 15 will be on soft, and then lap 16 to 25 on soft again. I just found that the softs were reasonably quicker, obviously, than the medium or the hard. No traction control required for the start, and starting from the back, of course, as you can see, and you'll see I've put my fuel mixture to 6. I'm just really going to work on saving some fuel. So I've fallen back quite a bit, but I knew this is going to just build up on this corner, so I thought just take your time. Wasn't too bad, it was pretty clean going around that corner. I thought it was going to be real messy and I'd be going through a lot of ghosted cars. So you can see in the screen down the bottom right, I look like the old shepherd rounding up the sheep. Just waiting for things to kick off. And also, I'm only doing 1 lap on these hards, so I didn't really want to have myself in the middle of a heap of cars trying to battle when I'm just doing 1 lap. But you see a lot of cars now ghosting because they've just had collisions. More yellow flags. So from 19th up to 15th on my hards, doing okay so far. This is the first race of the day also. So obviously, as I'm unsure, so will other people be unsure. And so their driving strategy, I guess, will be all over the place. So that's the hards done with. Fuel consumption is times 7 and tyre wear is times 17. That sounds like a lot, but these are quite light cars, so tyre wear isn't too bad. Going in a bit deep there, but no harm done. So back into 19th, and I've fallen back quite a bit. It's now time on the mediums to start catching up. And also, I guess in the clean air, just taking the opportunity to get a rhythm going. So you can see I'm back on fuel mix 1. It's now time to start pushing. And I'm hoping that by the time I've caught up to people, and they'll have their tyres will have worn down quite a bit, if they're already on mediums or softs, and I'll be able to start cutting through the pack, and then they'll pit. So I should, the plan is, there's someone else, the plan is to then cut through the pack on fresher tyres and while they're pitting. If my commentary isn't the best in this stream, it's late and I'm tired. It's been a long day and I got work tomorrow, so I've got to shoot off to bed at some time. So even though I am quite, I've set myself back quite far, it is 25 laps. There's plenty of time to make up some ground. So I could see in the map above, top right, that when I'm catching up to the cars, there'll be quite a group of them. So I'm doing that pretty well. Slipstream seems pretty weak. You could be up behind a car and there's not much pull from them. It's only very subtle. Here's another reason why I usually start races from the back. I don't like being within a group of cars, where they're fighting. You could have two cars fighting in front of you, get into an accident, and next minute you're in the middle of it as well. So I like to start at the back and just let things settle down. So I think I've missed it, but I think some people did pit. One guy had spun out on the end of the final turn of this track, so they got me from 19th to 18th, so two people had pitted already. Occasionally you'll see this corner here, the final corner, I'll just get it slightly wrong. I rely on those cones. Unfortunately, I do like them. They're good brake markers, apex points, but unfortunately people can knock them over, and so all of a sudden my brake marker will be gone. And when I can, I'll use shadows or structures. So this shadow coming up is where I'll start braking, or a structure, a sign or a building or a curb. I do prefer using them, but there are times when there's a break point and there's just no marker at all, so the cones do come in handy. So penalties just ahead, so going up the hill, hopefully I'll be able to get past. Didn't know if he was going to unghost or not, so you've got to be very careful. So this is going so very fast. I'm now in 14th. So that's lap 5 done. So that was 4 laps on the medium. Still won't take on fuel. I've got plenty of fuel. I think I've got another 14 laps, but I only plan on doing 10 on the soft. So really this is where my race begins. I had to be careful on the hards and the medium on corners like this. But on the soft I could just push it a bit further to my normal driving speed, I guess. Just felt comfortable. So I could take this corner in third. The tyres would grip. So red dragon ahead, and I'll be looking at the split times. Just checking how I'm going. The split time in front of me and behind me. Just making sure the one in front of me, is it getting bigger or staying the same or getting smaller? And then the one behind me, you know, hopefully that one's getting bigger as well, that I'm getting further away. It's a tricky corner. So from lap 6 I'll be going up to finishing lap 15. So 10 laps on these tyres. Honestly, during the week when I was practicing, and then I did a lobby with some Japanese guys, I honestly thought this was going to be a wreck fest, that people would just be smashing into each other. They're very fast and jerky cars. You have to try your best to be as smooth as possible, but the race panned out to be quite reasonable. Now, maybe not everyone would say that. You know, there are some people that have taken a beating from others, but that's only if you put yourself in that position, I guess. Now here's Shogunner. He's a mate of mine. He dropped down to C at DRC just like myself for a little while, but luckily he's back up in B. But he has been struggling lately, so I'm trying to get in touch with him and we'll try and get some practice in together. You know, I feel for the guy. I see him as a good driver, clean as well. I see him very similar to me. And I've just had some bad luck, but I just see when he's in a race with me, I just see him just getting smashed off track. So, see if I can tie up some practices with him. And I think for me it's all about the mindset. I think he's got the driving skills. It's just having the right mindset. And I think ultimately it's about ignoring everyone else and doing your own thing. You know, for example, me starting at the back, that's my own thing. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, change. But it goes okay for me. But also that helps me not worry about the rat race and just focus on my own laps. That's what I'm going to try and get Shogunner to do. Easier said than done when you got some moron up behind you punting you or whatever, but it's about paying attention to people around you and putting your feelers out. And if you feel like they're rough, get out of the way. Let them pass. Let them go ahead to someone else. So slowly chipping away, 13th place, lap 9. And so, of course, I've already put my hards and medium on. I'm on the fast, soft tyre, relatively fresh, and I'm banking on other people are yet to pit, and that's when I will start to shine, I guess. There's someone else pitting now. I think it was this guy. He was a concern for me. You can see him lagging. whenever I get someone lagging in front of me, I worry, because you want to pass, you want to overtake, but you don't really know where they are on the track. It's quite off-putting. In practice, just going up that corner there, sometimes I push it a bit too early and just spin the car out. That was in the early days of practice, and I wasn't really enjoying it, but eventually I started to get it and just kind of roll through that corner until you're relatively straight, and then begin to push. So you can see how I'm in his slipstream, and I am catching, but it's hardly noticeable. That's real nice of him. Looks like he just goes wide for me. See, I put my hazards on, so thanks. But considering he's lagging, I wanted to get away from him. I was worried. It's easily in the top 10 now. Position 9. And we're not even halfway through the race. Honestly, doing the race, it felt long. This is probably one of the few races that actually felt like a lengthy race, which is amazing considering it's not the biggest track in town, and these cars are pretty fast, but looks like I'm doing, I think, about an average of a minute 22. So 25 of them, I don't know, if it was a minute, that'd be 25 minutes. 25 lots of 22, well, 3 is a minute, so another 8, so 25 and 8 is 33 minutes, really. Most races go for 25 minutes. We'll see. There is a timer down the bottom left. I've calculated about 33 minutes there. So there's a reasonable gap in front and behind again. So again, clear air on my softs. I think it was around here I was trying to work out again at what point do I pit in. I remember looking up at the lap count, and we're at lap 12, and I don't know, for some reason I felt like we were further than that, and I thought we're only on lap 12. So halfway around this track, we'll be halfway through the race. Now, here's my friend Bella Joy, the girly girl, who called me a pathetic cheat once. And I have been tempted to just give her a nice punt off the track. But I thought I'd just leave it. And we'll see how we go. I guess the other reason for that thought is I watched a stream of someone else's, I think it was AB Saints, at Dragon's Trail, and she actually won. You know, I thought, wow, well done. She did pull off a win, so she can race. But is she as good as Iron Mike? And whether she is or isn't doesn't bother me. It's It's the sports personship or the etiquette of drivers for me that counts. So the main thing I was watching was, is she clean? Look at that, we shared the corner together. And my brake balance is at -1. Maybe an hour or two before the race, I was just going through all the brake balance settings, and I actually found -1 for me was the fastest. And if tyre wear was severe, then I would have taken that into serious consideration. But tyre wear, even though it's time 17, wasn't really that bad. I mean, I'm getting close to 10 laps on these soft tyres, and yes, they're wearing, but they're still drivable. So luckily I've got past Bella Joy cleanly. Look at that, I just was not looking at the corner. Okay, I mean, this is 25 laps, so you know, it's full on concentration all the time, and you let slip once. I think the reason why I stuffed up on that turn 1 is I was looking for my cone markers, and they're either not there or I just missed sight of them, and I realised, whoops, I'm a little bit too deep in, brake hard. So that cone on the right, I just begin to turn in from that point. And then cone markers up here began to disappear. Alright, so that's 15 laps done. Softs off, softs back on, and we're going to fuel up for I think it's just so, yeah, about 11 laps, so 1 lap extra as insurance. So dropping back to, so I think I was 8th when I pitted in, dropped back to 11th. Now it's the final push, hoping that either people's tyres have worn or they will also pit. But as you can see, the pit stops, even with fuel, it wasn't that long. So racing around with extremely worn tyres, avoiding the pit lane, is almost pointless. You're better off to hop in, get the tyres and fuel that you need, and get back out. That is a tricky corner. Maybe at this point I was a little bit disappointed at where I was. We've got under 10 laps remaining. I've got no more pit stops, it's just a run to the end now, but I was hoping I'd be a little bit further up. I was worried this is where I'd just be stuck. But seeing 3 cars ahead, it's very tasty. I was like, give me some of that. Ooh, yeah. Don't know if that was a brake check or just a bad cornering manoeuvre. Back up to 9th now. Keep pushing. I guess I could safely say I've got a rhythm going now. Mainly going from soft to soft. Having the same compound helps. I did wonder about people who may have started on soft and then moved on to hard, because I don't know, for me sometimes you can forget that you're on a hard tyre and go into a corner or a curve like this a little bit too hard and begin to slide out. You have to keep reminding yourself you're on hards, and that's why I didn't want to be on hards for too long. They're slow and they're cumbersome. Some more pitting, so up to 8th. Slowly getting there. And is that... yeah, Bella Joy, not that far away. Now I knew I was behind her, I overtook her, I got in front, and then I pitted. So I knew that even though I'd pitted, I've caught up to her pretty quick. Ooh, yellow flags. What's going on? Seventh place. So you can see there, 3rd place, they're pitting, but I'm just way too far back to take advantage of that. Yeah, here, my markers, I just lost focus, lost track of where my break point was, but luckily got away with it. Probably at worst I lost some time. So Bella Joy has got away, or she pitted, I'm not sure. Oh, she is behind me in 8th place. So I'm in 6th. Now this is interesting, this can't really make out his name, but he's in 5th place. And there's one hell of a gap. So the guy in 5th, you can see I am catching, well, he's 10 seconds ahead. I was going to say I'm catching him. No, he's pulling away. don't know if he... Oh, maybe here. I was going to say, yeah, I think it is here. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he stuffs up, so I pass him for 5th. And I'm just wondering, like, maybe his tyres are going. So I'm pulling away from him. So I thought to myself, right, well, he's gone. He's someone I don't have to worry about. And black and yellow is a good 20 seconds ahead. There's always that thought of maybe people haven't used all compounds and they'll get a 20-second penalty. Maybe at this point I realise that the guy in 6, the guy who lost that and I passed him, all of a sudden he's catching again. So he's obviously up the front because he's a good driver. He's made one mistake, but now he's coming back to reclaim his position. And he's caught up pretty well, and I could see him in my mirror. And we're getting a bit late in the race to have a battle. So I thought, well, you've caught up pretty well. At some point I want to let you go through clean. If you're going to pass me, do it clean. And he's right on my tail now, so I thought real soon, just around this corner. So here I'm trying to get out of his way, trying to go off to the right so he could go on the inside, then he chooses the outside. It was a bit messy. But I relinquish 5th place, drop back to 6th. And then I didn't realise, but there was Stan Dan was right behind him, but Stan Dan looks like he lost his grip going out that final corner, so luckily he's dropped back and I've cemented at least position 6. So yeah, I thought this is quite interesting. This guy in Edig or whatever his name is, he's going faster than me, but he did crash out. So, and I thought, you know, I reckon his tyres will be struggling a bit, so I'm going to try my best to apply pressure. I'm not just going to let him run away. Oh, and there he goes, and he's lost it again. And I thought, mate, you're gone. You're not coming back from that. So back up to 5th. Just kind of goes to show attacking other drivers doesn't always mean going for that lunge dive into a corner or squeezing through on the side of a track. Just, you can always just stick right behind them and put pressure on them. Top 4 guys are just well ahead. You can see on the map, top right, they're just miles ahead. They've obviously not had to put up with too much traffic and just gone with the flow. So obviously, first race of the day, starting 19th. I was doing much better than what I thought it would be. I've said it before in other streams, it's a lot to do with just keeping out of trouble, keeping your nose clean, knowing when to put a challenge on a yes, and also knowing when to give up and let someone pass. Don't fight every fight. It's incredible. The leader is a minute and 2 in front and already crossed the line. It's a final lap. I think it's 8 seconds ahead of Bella Joy, so I could relax a bit here. Final corner. It's time for me to put my hazards on, start flashing the lights, and celebrate. Oh, that was it. 5th place, up 14 places. 53 points. Not too bad. That was my only race of the day. I was happy with 5th. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and look forward to seeing yours. See you in the next one.